Hello, welcome to Heaven's Metal Magazine. I am Koran Integra. It is Thursday. I was going to say October, but it's November the 13th. And I hope everyone's doing well. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Be much appreciated. Also, you can check out heavensmetal.com. I'll put the link in the description box. You can check out all the reviews, album releases, new bands coming out. And so just check out that. And also, you can also check out the Christian metal group. There's another channel there. I put that link in the description as well, and they have interviews and artists as well. So hope everyone's doing good. So my guest today, wow, man, we were talking earlier. I said I got a confession to make, and that is, I was into this band back in 1998. A friend of mine had a CD, and they had long hair, and I'm like, that was right into the metal, and so I'm like, who is this band? And so it was Teramaze. So I listened to it. Great music. And this was 1998, and today they're still active, still going strong. They got a new album out called The Harmony Machine. You can check that out on all music out platforms and so forth, and I'll put their YouTube channel, their website in the description area. You can check out some of their stuff. But this gentleman here, they're from Australia, and I'm glad he had the time to take time out to come on Heaven's Metal. And I want to welcome Dean Wells to Heaven's Metal Magazine. What's up, brother?
Thanks for having me, man.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm really good, actually.
He's got the accent, you guys. I love it.
I think he got the accent.
Made me hear the mate.
Mate.
What's going on, man? I like I said in the opening, I said I was into you guys back in '98 and heard that first album, Tears to Dust. It was a great album. And
that was actually our second album.
Okay. Yeah, and since then they've done like 28 albums since.
Yeah. I think we're up 14, 15. It's getting a bit blurry.
Yeah. I mean, it was, and I had to go back and listen to all the albums since then to listen to it. It's some great music. So we're gonna talk about the past a little bit and how Teramaze formed, the present, and going to the future of the touring and so forth, and what's coming up for 2026 within another 2 months. Hard to believe. So Dean, tell me a little bit about Teramaze, man. Are you one of the founding members of it? Or how did Teramaze?
Yeah, well, I used to play with some guys, and at the time, this was like 95 or something. It was called Teramaze with a double R-O-R, and back then was when myself and the singer at the time, who I'm still good friends with, we've actually become Christians right at the start of the band becoming Teramaze as it is now, with that spelling and style of music. And his name was Brent Lee. His name is Brent Lee. He went back to school. Like, we were pretty young back then. He actually went back to school, and I continued the band, and then we did the first album. I got a different singer at the time. His name was Brett Rirakura. He sang on a few albums. So that's then we did Doxology. That was the first Teramaze album. And we were signed pretty young. I mean, more than half the band was still in school.
Wow.
So that was a good start. Being signed off a demo. We did a demo. Can't remember what was it called? Moral Optimism. So the big part of that was like we were more into like we're actually more into like Satanism and the occult and all this stuff. As I, as a kid, I thought that stuff was cool. I
Yeah.
didn't know any different. So, it sort of took me down a pretty sort of crazy sort of dark road pretty early in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, becoming a Christian right at that time kind of mapped out the rest of my life up to today as a musician,
Yeah.
mainly. So, yeah, it was a kind of weird start for the band. It was, I mean, everyone's different. I've realized, everyone's got a different story, and but the real start of the band it was actually becoming a Christian out of having like lyrics that were very like satanic and all sorts of stuff like that. So the shift was so huge. It actually took a while to, at least sort of just kind of go, what am I doing with, like I was only like 17 or 18 or something.
Yeah.
But so that first album, Doxology, was us trying to figure out seeing the world from a whole different perspective now. So I don't know if that answered your question, but that was the start. That was the basis of what I do anyway.
So how did you get all your other members once you got your singer and because you play guitar, right? Or did you start?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
I sing as well, but the guitar's pretty much been my instrument.
Okay.
Well, the members back then, they were there for a while. They were up till after Tears to Dust.
Okay.
So we did 2 albums. The drummer, Tony, and Matt, bassist. Brett Rerakura was the original singer on the first album. He sang on a couple of albums later on when I started, because the band hasn't been going the whole time. I stopped it for years.
Okay.
Which you kind of can't tell unless you look at the sort of discography, and there's a massive gap between 2002 to 2012. So
Okay.
I can get into that. But then we had Clinton sing on Tears to Dust. That's who you would have heard singing on that.
Yeah.
Which we did through. Well, actually, there's a short story about Doxology and Tears to Dust, and sort of being thrown into things really fast, as I'd only been playing guitar for like 3 years. So I sort of started late. But Doxology, we got signed from a Melbourne company called Empire Records. We did an album with them, and as I was doing the album, I remember this the other day actually. I think I might have mentioned to you. Steve Rowe called the studio, saying, "Oh, don't sign with this, don't sign with this label. I want to offer you. I want to do the album with you."
Okay.
And it was obviously too late, and I didn't know Steve then.
Yeah.
Or to be honest, the whole sort of Christian music scene was, I didn't even know existed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I grew up on Pantera, Megadeth, and Dream Theater, Metallica.
Yeah.
And a lot of pop sort of stuff and whatever my parents used to listen to.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know it existed. I used to play with a drummer that used to listen to Modification. Who else did you listen to? Tourniquet. The Tourniquet was the band that.
Yeah.
Tourniquet was the band that literally changed my life.
Okay.
Which later on, I mean, I got some stories about that, which is pretty kind of cool. But that's where it changed things for me, because I couldn't believe a band was so good and had such intelligent lyrics that weren't satanic.
Yeah.
About things that I at the time was generally looking into, thinking what is it? There's something more here. You know what I mean? So that's the real start of Teramaze. You know what I mean? So what we were doing was kind of like we were just playing music, and I was like, okay, my whole world's sort of changed now. It was so green. We were so green as well, firstly as believers,
Mhm.
because I just spent 18 years just being whatever.
Yeah.
So my life as a believer has it sort of coexists with the band. Not that I would say it's always been a Christian band or whatever it is. It's just me playing music and trying to express myself, and the things that I learned at the time
Mhm.
become part of the music. So it's almost like the music is my. Sometimes it's prayers, and sometimes it's my thoughts on the world. Is because I'm not really an outspoken person. I spend more of my time trying to hone my craft
Mhm.
and speak with that. So, yeah, it's been an interesting journey so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you mentioned, like, you were saying, and we were talking earlier about, especially the Tears to Dust album. I mean, that had
Mm.
every Christian needs lyrics you can think of. I mean, it
Well,
was,
that was exactly like I look back at it now and I'm like, I loved doing that album, but everything was so new, man.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
so new, and probably part of it for me being like the songwriter and having all these changes
yeah,
happen to me. Like it wasn't like I was just floating along and then like, hey, I'm a Christian now.
yeah,
Like my sort of testimony was like, I thought I was dying. I thought that literally demons were ripping at my soul, and it was crazy. So and I learned later on that not everyone, that doesn't happen to everyone, but it happened to me because I suppose I kind of live in extremes. So, but if you asked everyone who I grew up with and people I did sport with and played music with and said that I become a Christian, they would have laughed at you, and they did.
yeah, yeah,
I was the kind of first amongst the people that I used to hang out with. I used to hang out with lots of older people, bikies and drug addicts and like whatever. They were just because it was fun. For
yeah,
me, it was fun. Yeah. But it sent me, to a place where I kind of didn't really want to go, sort of thing. So um, that's, I don't know where I'm even going with that, but it's sort of my learning to become, learning and understand God and all that stuff is being a part of the growth of the band, if that makes any sense. And just as a person,
mm,
it's not me. And then there's this thing that I hold up going, this is a band, it's some sort of ministry, it's some sort of thing. It's just me,
yeah,
if that makes sense. Like it's an extension of me. It's my way of talking to the world or express myself, or when I've gone through pain or I've gone through like really cool things, like I put it into music.
yeah, yeah,
I feel like it's the best thing I can do with my abilities, I suppose.
yeah.
Because
Sure.
so yeah, I haven't spoken about a lot of this stuff for a long time. I mean, people ask me more personally, and I usually deal on more of a personal
mhm.
uh, level with all sorts of people, man. You know what I mean? Like the band's taken me to meet most of my idols, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like from growing up, like I end up working with some people like Jeff Waters from Annihilator, and I've met I've met the guys from Tourniquet. I've played with like Newsboys, and like
Yeah,
the two sides of like to me, it's just the music industry, but it's like the band or being a musician, I suppose, is
yeah,
put me in places that I don't think I'd ever would have done that just not playing music, I suppose, you know what I mean? So music's just a tool to, I don't know, connect with people, I suppose.
yeah. It's an outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an outlet.
I feel like I can get my words out better with music than than talking, you know what I mean?
And that's the thing as far as us as musicians, we're kind of shy behind, within our own, but you get us behind instruments and
Yeah.
it just so people are like, wow, I didn't know you had that in you because
To
it's
me,
it
it's a
is a
language.
passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is an expression, and
Oh yeah,
a lot of people think they look at somebody from just in a, wow, I thought you were like this all the time. It's like you're very the peace and
yeah,
calm and collected. But boy, when you're on stage,
yeah. Mm.
you know, it's like a
Oh, well, yeah. We're still entertainers as much as people don't. As much
yeah,
as a lot of bands and musicians don't want to sort
yeah,
of, oh, like, yeah, you're an entertainer, and that's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, because I realize part of what I do as a musician has nothing to do with anything other than bringing something to the world that's good
Hmm.
and that people need. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Of course, people need God, but I think looking and coming from where I come from, just bashing people over the head doesn't work because it never works for me. And
Yeah.
I never worked for a lot of my friends. And it never worked for so a lot of the famous people I've met. It's like that's not the only way. I don't even know if that's even a way, but like just being, it sounds weird, but just trying to be really good at what you do
Hmm.
glorifies God.
Yeah.
And that's my stance on the music.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to be kind of competitive, but like in my head, I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I want to make the best band and best music that I can make, and compete with the best in the world. Now, if they find out that I'm a Christian or some of the lyrics might be about this,
Mhm.
that's great.
Yeah.
But I found by pursuing, well, I read a Bible verse. I don't actually know what it is, but it stuck with me years ago, like before Tears of the Dust. I was like, what am I doing, sort of thing,
Mhm.
and it was like, whatever you do, do it with excellence because that actually glorifies God.
Yeah.
You know, and this whole, this, I might go off on tangents because I haven't spoken about this stuff for a while,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm always open to talk about it. It's just if you don't ask me, I'm not going to,
Yeah. Yeah.
knock on someone's door and, hey, man, you need to know about this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but even when I used to do music in the church, and there was worship music, and then there's praise music, and I'm like, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
I was always quite advanced musician, so I'd go and play in churches and just play some chords, and I'm like, why is this that, and why is this that? It
Yeah.
seems very structured to me. So I always had sort of issues with that, I suppose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but I used to find things like, I got an issue with that. You know what I mean? And still to this day, I question everything.
Yeah.
Have to. That's how I found God.
Yeah.
Me questioning stuff, and I'm thinking, there's got to be more than this. I used to
Yeah.
think evil. I used to think evil was good, but I'm like,
And
how can evil be good? But that was the trick. As a kid, that's what I thought. And then I'm like, no, good's good, but it's not what you think. You know, I mean, you have to sort of dress up nicely and wear glasses and hold some books, sort of thing. Of like, no. You know what I mean? Like, so it's been my faith has been a sort of similar journey to the music I do. It's kind of weird. It's just you know what I mean? Like it's like the music's almost like an afterthought to whatever I'm going through at the time.
so, and coming to that, what, I should say, who changed you as far as did somebody bring you to church and then you just start hearing the gospel? Because
Uh,
you used to practice, you witchcraft and all that demonic stuff. And how did the dislike hit? Like, wow, I got it.
I
You,
can tell you
you had a
that.
you had a Paul Damascus moment.
Well, I can tell you the moment that something went off. I'm a very curious person.
Mhm.
Um, it was not much before doxology, like the Teramaze. I don't actually think I was playing with them. I might have been playing with someone else at the time. But I remember a very specific time I met a stranger where I used to live down in Port Arlington, down to like right at the bottom of Australia. And he goes, "Oh, I'm into I'm into metal and whatever. Come on, he makes homebrewed beer and something. He goes, "Oh, come over my joint and listen to some music and have some drinks or whatever. This is a random dude. And Port Arlington's a very quiet place.
Yeah.
You know, so there's not many people there. So I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. So I didn't know this guy or anything. Went to his house, just hung out, played pool, drank some beer. I didn't not even really much of a beer drinker, but back then I was like, yeah, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I put some music on your CD player? Because I was, you know, right into obviously music at the time. He goes, yeah. And I was flicking through it. Most of the similar stuff I was listening to, Megadeth and Metallica and whatever. And I saw it might have been 2 albums, and they were both Tourniquet. Well, you guys sort of Tourniquet. I've always said Tourniquet.
Yeah.
I always say Tourniquet. This because I didn't know. I was like, oh, Tourniquet, what's this? He goes, oh, that's awesome, man. Put it on. He didn't say anything else. The first song I ever heard was Psychosurgery, the first song. And I fell off the seat. And I was like, what is this then? So I didn't know anything about the band. He didn't say anything either. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
So to me, the music was just so powerful. And I remember just the little symphony at the start. And I was like, oh, my goodness, man, this is amazing. He goes, yeah, they're a Christian band. And saying that to me at the time, usually I would have got my back up bad because I was very anti everything.
Yeah.
Just you know,
It's like,
kid, I didn't know anything. But because the music was so good, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Everything I knew of anything to do with Christian music or whatever at that time seemed to be dorky. And that's just being honest. It was like always cheesy. It was always like, ugh, like who's going to listen to that anyway? Oh, you know, I'll play 3 chords and put the word Jesus in there and it's Christian music. I'm like, that's crap.
Yeah.
Like to me, it's like if you were supposed to be a musician or whatever it is, wouldn't you want to be the best that you can be at it? Because that's, you know, God didn't cut corners with us. He didn't cut corners with making the earth. He didn't cut corners with flowers being brilliant. That's how I see music. It's like it's just creation, and sometimes it doesn't need. Well, why are you doing this, and why are they saying this, and blah blah blah. Sometimes it's just the sound, and people need music to stop in this crazy sort of world and feel. Because if they don't ever get to that point, then it's like they're never even going to listen to someone talking about God. But you can put some music on that's, you know, maybe written with you know, that sort of intent of like maybe, you know, I can speak to people about God or whatever. So anyway, Tourniquet, and I took those CDs. He goes, take them. And I never saw the guy again.
Wow.
I took his CDs home. I only lived up the road because I went back there one day to give him the CDs, knocked on the door, and then no one lived there anymore. Really weird, man. Really strange. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I've told the story before, but I haven't told it for years. But that was really the point that I was like, I'm only listening to this because it's really good. I'm not listening to it because it's Christian. Because as soon as he said that, I realized where I was at that point. Mm-hmm. If he said to me at the start, that's a Christian band, I wouldn't have even put it on.
Gotcha.
That's what most people are like.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So my sort of experience with my faith and how it all come about had nothing to do with the church. It had to do with me being blown away by music that was. Someone said that goes Christians, but I didn't even find that the lyrics weren't like judgmental. They weren't cheesy. They were so intelligently written that it really blew me away for a long time, to the point where that's when I showed the other guys in the band, and that actually music changed the band. We all become Christians.
Yeah.
It was great. It was the most insane thing to kind of look back at now. I'm like, I don't know how often this happens, but it wasn't just the band, it was our friends as well.
Mm-hmm.
We end up playing like in churches and stuff, and I remember it being filled with just all metalheads wearing Megadeth and that. And then on the other side, it was literally just old ladies. I've still got pictures of it. It's like my baptism was just all long-haired dudes rough looking, like in this like kind of an old looking sort of Baptist church, and then the whole other side was literally like old ladies and stuff. And I'm like, this is so strange. And I remember the pastor at the time was the best example of Jesus to me that still to this day, like, and it wasn't so much what he said, it was his actions.
Mm-hmm.
He was welcoming to all of us. He didn't care about the long hair. He didn't care about the music we played. It was like that welcoming, which I wasn't used to, you know, having grown up with sort of like a sort of abusive dad and stuff. So
Yeah.
I realized it was nothing he said. It was his actions as a human being. And I'm always still looking back at that. And I'm like, that's what really impacted me when it comes to, say, a person that influenced me. I don't even know if he knew that he influenced me, but he like changed my life. He used to drive me all the way home, back an hour away from church and that. And I'm like, no one used to ever do that. You know, I mean, like I was just kind of seen as an outcast.
Wow.
You know, I kind of still feel like I am, but that's just,
Yeah.
I suppose being an artist, you kind of always feel like an outcast in the world. So I'm trying to answer a few questions that who influenced me.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much, it was the band Tourniquet that changed my opinion of what I thought a Christian was,
Mm-hmm.
or God, or any of that stuff. My views on it at that time were absolutely opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But end up going to church with one of the old singers, Brett. And that to me was like, you know, I was like, oh, am I going to catch on fire and all this sort of stuff? Like it was just, you know, but then it's the church used to be like packed with like all my mates. It was really like crazy. Like I've got old photos of it and I'm like, I didn't know at the time that it was kind of odd. But now looking back, I'm like, it was such a special time because I was like, whatever was happening, we weren't doing it.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing it. I would kind of just, I wanted to know. I wanted to know if this is real, if this God is real, I need it to be real. I'm not doing I'm not playing church. I'm not playing anything. You know what I mean? And so that's why my faith has never changed.
Great.
Because when God saved me, there was no one else around.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's not always, I suppose I thought at the time that's what happens to everyone. But then I started learning, no, most people like either grew up in the church or had friends that were Christians or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, mine was like crazy hard.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I was coming off drugs at the time, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have someone's like, hey, man, this is the Bible and this is what Jesus said. I had to sort of kind of be curious enough to go to a church, you know.
Yeah.
And then Teramaze just started playing in the church.
Yeah. You had to find out on your own who God was.
That's it, completely. And maybe it's because I'm not a stubborn person, but I'm headstrong for sure.
Yeah.
So if you tell me I can't do something, I'll be like, all right, I'll show you. I'm like, I love that. I love that sort of challenge. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, you'll see. You know what I mean? So like, I love to do things the best I can and then see, because in that, I find who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I really find myself instead of sort of like, oh, it's, you know, I'll just do it. You don't have to be that good at it. I'm like, what? I don't see the point. Like, I don't see the point of doing something if I really can't put my everything into it. You know what I mean? So
when you brought the rest of your band in, the previous guys that you were playing with, they believers too, or
well, they weren't. No one was.
Did they come to Christ too?
Yeah. They had their own experience through it. I suppose that it changed me so much. But I suppose it was me and the first singer. He was a bit younger than me. It was like the Tourniquet music, that's what got us sort of thinking, what are they talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing I liked about Tourniquet, and it was the album Psychosurgery and Pathogenic. It was very cryptic. The wording, they'd talk about, they'd have things about like eye studies and all this sort of stuff. It wasn't like Jesus loves you sort of thing. It wasn't that. And I wouldn't have listened to that.
Yeah.
That's what I find interesting about it. It was like, it really got me where I was at. It was intriguing,
Mhm.
but it wasn't cheesy, because that's all I knew about sort of Christian music. It was like, it always sounds like 80s. That was my view on it. So
Yeah.
this was like so fresh, and like the playing was amazing. Ted's drumming was just like, what is this? This is as good as anything else I'm listening to, if not better.
Yeah.
That's what got me. So maybe part of that in me was like trying to reach for excellence as a musician was the only reason I listened to Tourniquet. So Ted and Gary and Eric, like, I've become friends with all these guys. Being that good at that time, that's the thing that spoke to me, not the message.
Yeah.
Until that, it was kind of the thing that kind of got me in the door of like, what are they talking about? Like, does that make sense? So I'm like that myself. In like, I want to be the best I could do with my abilities.
Yeah.
And however God wants to use me, He'll use me just as a human being, as a person. It's like
flip. It flipped. The music, you heard the music first before you heard the message, the music turned you on, then the message.
Yes.
It wasn't always the message. Sometimes sometimes it's like that. Sometimes the music,
because it spoke language.
Yeah.
And that's where it was like, it's what Jesus spoke in like parables and stuff. It was like, so they could understand.
Yeah.
And the reason he would just hang out and do, like, I learned this later on. I was like, Jesus was so human, yet he was God, or is, that he did things that wasn't always like, you better do this, or you better believe me, you're going to go to hell. That wasn't, he didn't do that. It was like he loved, but he done everything. He had a purpose, and he had like intent, and he knew he had to do all this for the ultimate sort of, sacrifice. He couldn't half do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What he was as even just as a human. But some of the most powerful things were the most basic things he did. And he didn't even speak, because that was the language of the people. It was feeding them or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, so I know I'm sort of bouncing around things, but like, when I become a Christian, I thought I needed to be Christian. Does that make sense? Because I used to be into such dark stuff. I'm like, I don't want to be like that anymore. I need to be, and I almost took on a lot of religious stuff. Okay. And at the time in the churches and stuff, it's like, it's easy to do that, because it almost becomes like a comfort. And it's almost like you don't even exist in the world anymore. And then I end up realizing, was like, hang on, God wouldn't pull me out of such a strange thing to sort of put me into this Christian music that no one knows even exists. The world doesn't know it exists. And I know that they probably don't want to hear that, but I know it for a fact, because I've spent so much time in the world with the industry, the music industry, musicians, famous people, like lots of stuff. And it's like, oh, who's that? Like, who's DC Talk? Who's Tourniquet? Yeah. I'm like, how do you not know? But because your little world of music doesn't exist in the real world. I'm like, well, isn't that kind of useless? But I'm like, why is it so secluded in its own little thing? Yet, but when God, all I end up seeing more and more is like, oh no, God's putting you back out into the world. Oh, I'm like, oh. So I'm not supposed to be sitting in here and sort of just feed me sort of church, and then just sitting here like, yeah, no worries, man, I'm going to heaven and whatever. I don't know. Oh, no. I'm putting you back out with your people, which is musicians and artists. And so I I know what I'm saying is probably not what everyone wants to hear, but I'm telling you the truth of why Teramaze exists. Teramaze isn't in its own thing. It's kind of an extension of me, and then the guys that have either been in the band or are in the band.
Gotcha. Yeah.
What happens with the music? If I'm going through stuff, that's going to end up in there.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in a good place, that's going to end up in there. It's like, but I know that usually, if I'm work hard at the music and write songs that are real from what's happening, that is more potent than me trying to sort of maybe trick people to, oh, maybe I'll put some Bible verse in there and blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, that's a Christian song. I'm like, yeah, but that's not what it was about.
Yeah.
I had to write a song about having my heart ripped out or my best friend dying. Like,
yeah.
So this is what I'm going around a long way, but
I do.
Saying that we're a Christian band is kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
It's like, I have faith.
Yeah.
Jesus died for my sins. I believe he is God.
Yeah.
Full stop. That's it. That's my faith. And that'll never change. I've always almost have a childlike sort of way of looking at it because I can get too complicated with it all. And in the early days, it did get complicated. I was like, oh my goodness, like it started becoming a bit, I don't know. Like, I'm not perfect, everyone. Chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out. For 18 years, I was crazy. You know what I mean? For 18 years, I hung out with criminals. I've done all this stuff. And in 1 year, I might have become a Christian, but like we'd go and play festivals and all this stuff, the Christian festivals. It was cool. But the expectation on us so early to be perfect was insane. And I'm like, who are you to even, well, you got to sign this and he can't have his girlfriend there. It was all these weird things, man, that I didn't know existed. Yeah. All I knew was like I needed God. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm just going to be really honest about how things happen with Teramaze. It's like, it's not just Teramaze on its own. It's me as a person. Does that make sense? So it's like, that's why that like, oh, we're a Christian band, we're blah blah blah. It's music. I have faith. Sometimes I've never lost my faith, but there's been times where I've like screamed at God. Mm-hmm. You know, my best friend who has drummed on Anadonia, one of the best drummers in the world, literally, his name is Julian Percy. Mm-hmm. He dropped dead, and I took him to churches and prayed and prayed and prayed, and he died. And I'm like, I've never been that angry in my life.
Wow.
That. And I know he was supposed to be, we were supposed to, you know, play music together, mm-hmm. because in that I was still struggling, but he was struggling to sort of, in the end, he gave his life to God. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that was inside the band. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So many things have happened in Teramaze that have changed my life just by being a musician and working really hard at my abilities, that I realize that it's not so much the outwardly thing that you see in Teramaze. It's actually it's the real stuff that's happening in real time. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. I'm not trying to save anyone. Yeah. God saves you. If you know what I mean? Like, if God's coming after you, man, you can't go anywhere. He's going to get you, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
But I realized it wasn't no person.
Yeah.
It was God. And my heart, obviously at that time, was ready to kind of go, okay, there's got to be more to this. Hearing Tourniquet was just that little bit of a, okay, maybe it's all not that bad. Kind of weird, you know what I mean? Like, Christian stuff back then to me was, maybe if this is really good and they're Christians, I'm like, oh, maybe I can it sort of just opened the door, or maybe drop some walls. Mm-hmm. Hearing a band that were musically as good as the best bands that I thought in the world, mm-hmm. that changed my opinion of what I thought a Christian was. I suppose that part of what I do now, but it's personally, it's not like I put it out there, but like personally, that's what pursuing as well. It's like, if I want to do it, I want to do it with excellence, because I know that can have its own effect because it had it on me.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Especially metal. I mean, it seems like
Yeah.
metal music gets a bad rap anyway, regardless if it's Christian or not Christian. It gets a bad. It's good,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
then
it's outcast music. But
when you
it
throw,
appeals to the outcast. Yeah.
I mean, you throw heavy metal in the Christian circle, and it's like you said earlier, it's like, oh, you're gonna burn in hell. There's some great. I mean, I remember when I first became a believer. That was the first thing, apart from Striper. That was the first thing I
All
went
right.
to a bookstore to find out who's out there to the music that I like. I came across, and we're talking like 20 plus years ago. I came across Demon Hunter. I mean,
Yeah.
when you hear that name, Demon Hunter, what do you think? Of course, people are gonna think satanic. Demon Hunter,
Most
Christian.
people don't. I don't. I think most people don't really class them as anything, or they don't. They don't care, if that makes any sense. As
Yeah,
in, I used to just think, oh, they're just a band. I didn't know they had Christians in them or whatever.
yeah,
So things have changed, I suppose. I think can't remember because I wasn't doing music in the 80s, but it seemed like it was like anything that was heavy is like, listen to that. Listen to this really cheesy music. It's like, what? But
yeah,
I'm like, the heavy metal to me is like the sound of thunder.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
it's huge, but it's also kind of calming.
yeah. Man, you were hard back then. You you were a hard guy back then.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
Oh, dude, that's why I'm saying when Teramaze become like Christians, I was the last person you would imagine.
yeah,
I
yeah,
remember going to back hang out with like the people I used to smoke drugs with and all that stuff, and they all knew I become a Christian.
yeah,
But at the same time, I was sort of like, I think it was lucky because I knew how to fight
yeah,
that no one really pushed me. But they definitely, a lot of people would like, oh God, boy, and I'm like. These people were like always older. I used to always hang out with older people, and they were full on into like the occult and everything. But I was still like, this doesn't bother me anymore, and I wasn't going to judge them either. Like, I was only just in that. So who am I? The only difference is I kind of not just figured out. It was like God tapped me on the shoulder. It was like, oi, that road you're going down. Oh, you can go there, but it was like you might want to listen to this voice, I mean? It wasn't that simple, I mean? The night I become a Christian, I felt like I had like two heartbeats. I felt like I had demons like pulling at my soul, everything. I was on the ground, like my mum tried to give me a Bible and I kicked it out of her hand. It was full on, man. And I remember at that moment going, if you're real God, and I was kind of almost screaming, if you're real Jesus, you have to do something now. And I woke up that next morning and I just knew. I'm like, oh,
it just
I just asked.
wow,
I asked when I knew nothing about him.
yeah,
Does
yeah,
that make sense? So I didn't have any doctrine. The closest thing I had was some lyrics in Torniquet's CDs. But even then, their lyrics weren't sort of Bible bashy or anything. They were clever
yeah,
and talk about, creation and like all these weird things. And I was like, that was the closest thing I had.
yeah.
But yet Jesus still found me without all that.
And
So I'm like, hang on. So, and that's
that's what
never
he does, though. That's what he does.
exactly
That's
right.
how people come to come to Christ. He finds
Yeah.
people where they're at.
Yes.
I mean, he brought you to him where you were. He didn't.
I wasn't going to be nice and polished and then he'd find me. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah.
I was the complete
No,
opposite. So,
it was completely. And when people listen to your music, they may have the same experience coming out of the Megadeths, the Testaments, the Slayers, and all that, and then they hear you guys.
well,
It's like, wow, so it can work for someone else. It has
but
that. Yeah,
I suppose I used to, I suppose, kind of need to speak about when we were kind of classed as a Christian band. as much as it was okay, um, I felt like it boxed me into something that I don't feel like I was supposed to be in. And
Mm,
I had people at big churches, and even now, like things like Hillsong and all this. Like I was right in with all those songwriters at the time because what I do is I'm a songwriter, and they
mm,
were like, "Oh, I think God wants you to be writing songs in church and all this." And I remember going, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. It's just not." So I almost had to kind of, and this is how my faith becomes stronger because sometimes it wasn't like I went against the church. It was like I went against people's selfish desires for what I was supposed to do with my abilities because I was good at writing songs, if that makes any sense.
mm,
And I was like, I know this is not, I have to go back because I was writing, pop music at the time.
mm,
I need to go back and write what I love is metal music.
mm,
And I know it takes a lot of more skill and all this sort of stuff. I could have stayed quite comfortably just probably writing songs for all the churches and got involved in that. But it wasn't my heart. I didn't have, it was almost like I was playing
yeah,
church. I
yeah,
wasn't letting the experiences of life
yeah,
affect me, then writing music, which is what I've been doing. So,
yeah.
um,
You were
and
going through
some
the motions.
Yeah, but some people that's what they want to do. That's great, but I kind of feel like being pulled out of where I was younger to do this, and I have a desire to do things well. And I don't do many things, but I do music, and I try to do it the best I can.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Zoom. I'm thinking of switching, switching.
I don't use it much.
Sorry for the interruption, folks. Technical.
Yeah,
So where are you guys at now with the band? Are you got a new album out? The Harmony
yeah.
Machine. Um,
Well, that was actually like
are you gonna be
we
touring?
were well, we're actually playing in Atlanta in the USA next year at a big progressive festival called Prog Power
Oh, okay. In
with
Atlanta.
with bands like Nevermore and Evergrey, and
Oh
who
yeah,
else is playing?
yeah.
There's
They're
heaps of
from
good bands. So we
they're from Sweden, I think. Evergrey.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty cool festival. Like we were supposed to play it 6 years ago, and
Okay.
I actually got sick the first time in my life, and I couldn't play. But
Yeah.
so we're going back to do that, and then we're looking at doing our own tour in Europe because that's our fan base is probably more European. A
Yeah.
little bit American. America's good too, but America's sort of a bit more spread out. But
Yeah. See, and unfortunately, that's been one of my biggest pet peeves within the
yeah,
Christian metal market. No, especially California. Nobody comes here. Nobody comes to California. All the bands, all the festivals are in Southeast,
mm,
Midwest, East Coast. Nobody comes out here, man. And I don't know why, but promoters, bands,
yeah,
they just don't promote out here.
yeah, that's strange. I've been to LA a fair few times.
Yeah,
Um, have you ever heard of have you ever heard NAM convention in
yeah,
Anaheim?
I go there every year. Now, actually,
Oh, do you?
yeah, every year I do the drum. I interview different drum reps, and
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Are you going this year? You going next year?
I've actually been thinking about it because I haven't been there. I haven't been there since before the pandemic
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Um, but I used to go pretty regularly. I did the clinic in the Music Man
Okay.
one year with like Steve Morse and John Petrucci, and it was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
So I used to be. Now I'm with Jackson Guitars. Been there for a while now, so I'm thinking about going back. Like I've
Well,
done some recordings and stuff in like Oakland, and so
okay.
I've been in America a bit, but the band hasn't played there. I've played Teramaze music
Yeah.
there, but the band hasn't played there. So we've played Europe, but America's always been a bit difficult, even though it's probably our biggest fan base is America, but
Mhm.
it's just a bit more spread out. So it's hard to,
It's
it's
yeah,
not like,
it really depends on where. Like I say, Midwest,
yeah,
you
yeah.
guys probably do good there. Southeast, East Coast, but
Well, I
Pat,
think,
but in California, no, nobody knows you. I mean,
yeah.
just
Well, I actually wouldn't mind. Like, I'm friends with Luke Easter and Gary, who are doing the sort of new tourniquet because obviously Ted passed away.
yeah,
I tell you a small weird story about that. I've become friends with all those guys, Ted especially, and Ted asked me and my singer now, Nathan, to
yeah,
play in to go to
really,
Mexico and play as tourniquet. And
okay,
I'm like, so I was learning their whole set. It was probably like maybe a year before Ted passed away.
yeah,
And I'm like, this is so strange because this band changed my life.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I've told Ted that a few times and Gary and all that, but that was a real. We didn't end up doing it because the logistics was just too much. But I remember him asking me. He actually asked me to mix their last album actually, too, before he passed away, which they never end up finishing because I mixed bands. So that was a real weird thing learning the Tourniquet songs because they were the songs that really changed my life.
wow,
Um, Years later, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I forgot what album it was. I got into Tourniquet. And like they were another one of those bands that I'm like, they're okay. But like I said earlier, I was in so much different genres of metal, you know, and
What bands did you listen to?
oh, as far as this in general,
Oh, heavy sort of.
I was big Testament, I like Testament.
No, that.
I'm kind of all over the place, man. I mean, lately I've been getting into a lot more. Back then, when I first became a believer, Living Sacrifice, um, Project 86. Wow. Of course, I didn't even know who Skillet was until I moved to Russia.
uh,
I lived in Russia for a while. And,
uh,
yeah, and I didn't even know who Skillet was. This is like 2005. I'm like, who's Skillet? So, you know,
Man, like my other band. Sorry to cut you off. My other band called Mashiach, which is a bit more of a metal band. Well, it is a metal band. We're about to do like 40 shows with Testament just before the pandemic.
oh,
We're,
really?
yeah, it was like it was all announced. It was the posters are still
Yeah.
just that. So I kind of got ties with Testament. My manager or management group, they manage Testament.
Okay.
So I met all those guys.
Yeah.
Good, good dudes. Chuck
I
Billy
was
and
I was a big
no.
I still am to a certain extent Sabotage. Remember
Oh, really?
Sabotage? Yeah, because I
Yeah.
love symphonic type metal, and
I never really listened to them, but I know a lot of people that love them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well, they half of the members now are part of TSO.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's something funny. Do you know Russell Allen?
No.
Well, he sings at the Trans Siberian Orchestra.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
the singer of Symphony X.
Okay. Okay.
So I was writing with music for him like about a year ago. So
Oh,
yeah, I've got a lot of ties with those people. Yeah, like I was saying before, that's what
yeah.
Teramaze is sort of going into places that meeting all these people. Like I think Jeff Waters played in Sabotage for a bit. He
Yeah.
filled
Yeah. He still is. I mean, I think they're supposed to come out with a new album. You know.
Sabotage.
Yeah. I was a big Sabotage fan. I just love the whole symphonic orchestrated
Yeah.
type mixed with metal. And I know what's the group? Apocalypta.
Oh
Apocalypta.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Cello
yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's I love that stuff too. You know.
Yeah. Mine's more Dream Theater. Dream Theater
Yeah,
is my
yeah. I know.
favorite.
Listening to some of you guys' music. I noticed you guys got some long songs.
We got a song that's 26 minutes long.
I'm like, man, so you got to tell me a little bit because when you're writing, like,
Yeah,
who comes up with the parts? You being a
yeah.
guitar player, right?
All
So
right. Yeah.
you start off with a riff, or does the drummer come in with a groove and you just follow behind it? But how does
All
it
right.
10 minutes long? Sometimes.
Easy. It usually starts with a riff,
Okay.
and then I'll sort of just grow it from there, and then we'll start putting like a vocal melody. Like I do most of the sort of drums at that point myself. So I'll write the music and then start putting some drums to it to help me create the song. So
Okay.
I need my guitar playing is very drum orientated, so I can already hear the drum beat that will go with the riff. So
Gotcha.
I always put it down, and I play drums myself, so I can
Okay.
just jump on the drums and put down. So
Yeah.
I get most of the song, pretty much done, demoed myself, and then we'll start putting vocals, and then the song might change again because the vocal melody might dictate. Maybe it needs to be longer here, but sometimes because the guitar playing, there's sections where there's no singing, and you can sort of, you can kind of progress the music. It's more like progressive metal sort of thing. And
Yeah.
then they end up like 10 minutes long. Sometimes I've had to cut them back. I'm like, so I edit a lot, man, and I write ridiculous amount of music. So I've still got to edit it to make the song make sense.
Yeah.
But we did a song called Sorella Minore, which is part of her Halo trilogy, which is our most popular album, Her Halo. But
Yeah.
that's a 26-minute long song that I don't even remember what I was doing. I just started it and I was like, oh, this is getting real long. And then I'm like, maybe I'll just keep going. Instead of stopping it and
Yeah.
writing another song, I kind of just kept going. And I'm like, this is 26 minutes long. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I took parts out, and to make it, because I love that feeling I love having the option of writing something that feels like you don't know where it's going.
Okay.
But I love a 3-minute pop song too. If it's got like just an amazing chorus and
Yeah.
an amazing verse, that's hard too to do. Everyone's like, oh, I can write pop. I'm like, no, you can't. The best pop writers, there's like 3 of them, Max Martin and Dr. Luke. Like writing pop songs is really difficult because the hook needs to be so good.
Desmond Child.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it
Yeah.
wrote on heaps of people's
Oh yeah.
albums.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he even wrote with Dream Theater
Yeah. Yeah.
one album. But the hook for that is everything. I'm still about the hook, but I like to take songs on little bits of adventures. You know what I mean? Like
I
that's
know.
that's
I noticed that on in a lot of your music, man. I'm like, wow, this is like a 10 minute song. It's one of those songs where you just get in the car, you just drive, just go down
uh,
the coast or something. That's why I was
it,
wondering because you got so many different elements, so many different parts. You know, does any of your band members do they go, man, what are you doing? Where are we going with this? And they just kind of just
I
follow
love it.
your
They kind of trust my judgment,
lead.
uh, unless I'm I'm so hard on myself that before they even hear anything, I would have kind of gone, nah, that's not good enough, or nah, that sounds like something else. Oh, so when I did a lot of pop writing between 2000 and like 2010, which is Teramaze stopped. The
Yeah,
band stopped at 20. So it hasn't been going that whole time.
gotcha.
This Teramaze now that you're sort of hearing and seeing, that was from like 2012 onwards.
Okay.
So I stopped that back then because I wanted to explore different songwriting and production. And I
Yeah.
was sort of just, I got into metal and then just wrote metal. I went, I want to work on vocal melodies and production and how to. So I got signed as a songwriter and did like Australian Idol and, like American Idol, but it was Australian.
Yeah.
So I learned about structure and vocal melodies and so that applied to going back to do metal. It became part of Teramaze. It was sort of always there a little bit, but I kind of got a bit better with it because I got to work with lots of producers. And So I still kind of treat a 10-minute song almost like a pop song
Okay.
because it's got to have the hooks somewhere, and it's got to. But I
Yeah.
kind of go, no, let's take this somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, wow, man, these songs are long. Because I was just kind of just dissecting a bunch of
Yeah,
albums, man, and just listening to it. There's some good stuff, you know. There's some really good stuff on there, you know. And now Nathan, he's got an incredible voice. I love his voice, man.
it's good.
And that's why I thought he was the original singer from Tears to, because he sounds just like, you know.
Yeah, but people say that but it's probably got a little bit to do with how I wrote vocal melodies
Okay,
and the sort of key it sits in. Does that make sense? So because there's a few albums there where Nathan wasn't in the band. I sang 3 albums, and most people can't tell the difference.
okay,
So
yeah,
when I got him back, we share a bit more vocals now. So sometimes when you think it's Nathan, it's actually me. But we don't kind of write it anywhere.
gotcha.
We don't like, oh, it's Nathan and that's Dean,
Yeah,
because I don't care. I'm more about this. If it sounds good, it's good. You know what I mean? Or we just released a song the other day, and no one, not one person, picked up on that I'm singing it. Nathan's only in it for like a minute because it was an older song that we read. Like I just wanted to. I never released it, and I'm like, oh, we're going to sing that because I wrote it back when I was singing. So the sound of Teramaze, I suppose, is probably always been there, as in that's the style of vocals I like too, if that makes sense. It suits the style of music. It's kind of dynamic, it's soft, it's
yeah,
not too heavy, but yeah, because I've always been able to have different singers, and no one really takes much notice.
yeah,
As
yeah.
long as the songs are good, I like people who got their sort of favorites, but I've had 4 singers, and I'm one of them. So
Okay,
but the sound's never really changed.
yeah.
If that makes you know what I mean? Like
And
I can tell a difference.
yeah, I was gonna say a lot of your stuff is got more. I can hear some Dream Theaters and
Yeah,
some new styles, you know, a lot of progressive stuff, different time signatures, stuff like that, you know. And
yeah. I don't,
I bet your drummer's like he's probably now. I was watching some of the videos. He seems to be having a great time. Uh,
loves it.
how does he feel about playing long songs? Because being a
Uh,
drummer playing that style of music, you got to have some good endurance, you know.
yeah, no, I think we almost prefer playing the long songs live.
Really?
Yeah, because it just feels more like a performance.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Like some of the shorter songs that have got sort of big riffs and stuff, big sort of chorus, kind of more predictable. They're fun, but when the big song comes up, we kind of all take a bit of a deep breath and go, all right, now, and because part of that is I love the challenge of challenging ourselves with our own music because you can't drop off in these days because we might want to go, oh, let's play that song like Delusions of Grandeur from her Halo. It's like 10 minutes long. There's so many parts in it. So as a musician, we've set a bar for ourselves that we need to maintain.
yeah,
Does that make sense? So I really enjoy that. But it's like I'll constantly like to push myself as a musician. But there's sometimes I've written stuff where I'm like, oh man, I've really got to practice to play that live.
yeah.
Or some of those songs I've never played live because we've got so many songs. We can't. Trying to pick a set list,
Yeah, I
trying to
know.
pick a set list is insane at the moment because we're like, what do we play? There's
Yeah,
so many songs, and we've done so much new stuff. The
yeah,
last couple of years, we've done like 6 or 7 albums in like a couple of years. So
yeah.
that's kind of funny. And then I usually post on Facebook, what do you want to hear?
Well, that's
Because,
what I'll say. How do you pick a set list? I mean, do you pick
oh man,
the less 10-minute songs live as far as live?
uh,
Or how do you
well,
pick a
we,
set list?
we always get a couple. We get a couple of long ones always in there,
Okay, okay,
um, and then we did a show in Europe. It was a Prog Power Europe where basically one of the main bands the first time round. The second time round, we were the main band. But that first time round, and it was a bit nerve-wracking, and we had like an hour and a half, which is kind of a long set for our music. We put in every hard song that we've ever written, and it was like a dream because it was so challenging, because we put all the hard songs in because we're like, oh, playing progressive from like Europe, let's play all the progressive songs. So we're like, we had like 10-minute songs.
Yeah.
And it was insane. It was actually really fun. But looking back at it, we went, let's not do that again.
Yeah.
Because it was like we couldn't breathe the whole time, because the long songs have just got a lot of, usually they're long because they've got more parts in them that change. Where the straighter songs, they come back to the same riffs. You know what I mean? So you've got that sort of, it's familiar. But the long songs are always like, oh, I've got that bit, and then there's it. So you really got to be on your toes. But that's what I love about this music.
And you can lose a lot of the crowd too, especially live, you know.
We didn't let there because it was very progressive crowd.
Okay.
They love that
They were
stuff.
used to it. Yeah, they were used to it. Yeah.
So we played with a band in Australia called Avatar, fairly big sort of heavy band.
Heard of them.
Very sort of circus, like great live show. But their music's very kind of more straightforward metal. Mm-hmm. And we went, well, what are we going to play? So we just grabbed all our short songs, all the sort of more like rocky ones. We didn't play anything progressive, and then we did like an hour set of just those songs to a crowd that's never heard us. And it went over so well that we made a DVD of it. But there's no progressive songs on there because we've got enough music to alter it to go, we could play with Dream Theater tomorrow, easy, and we could play with Metallica, easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could play with a bit heavier bands too. It's like, that's just because I like all types of music, and I'm not hung up on it all being technical or all being heavy. Well, I'll write a 3-minute pop song and I'll put it in Teramaze. I don't care. Yeah. It's like, who's making the rules here? I'm like, there's no rules. It's just, to me, it's just music. Yeah. And that's why I've got to come back to the whole thing with Teramaze. It's kind of just an extension of me. It's not its own entity. It's just, it's a name that I can go and paint some pictures in. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like walking in a room is like some blank canvases, paint a picture. You know, that's how I actually look at music too. It's like, okay, what's a Christian painting? There's no such thing. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing. It's just a painting of the person's expression. Yeah. And if it's a really good painting, it's probably because he's very skilled and he poured his heart into it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, that's what music is. Oh, but I can put lyrics to it. Yeah, but a lot of our music is actually instrumental too. Yeah. So I treat our music like a painting. Yeah. And paintings, not knowing the meaning behind them, some paintings don't have any meaning, but to the person looking at it, might have heaps of meaning, and you can't change that. So I find with music, the best thing you can do is be really honest with it. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is. Yes, I'm a Christian. Yeah, but you know what? This subject here drives me insane. Mm-hmm. Let's write about that. Yeah. Is it Christian? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But everyone goes through it. Yeah. I'm a Christian. Yeah. That doesn't mean I have to take things out of the Bible and put it over some cheesy 80s chords and go, hey, I'm a Christian musician. It's garbage. Yeah. You know what I mean? I bet a lot of the Christian artists, you know, guys from Newsboys and stuff, and it's like, the best songs were written in hell, as in their hell, in their painful moments, in their dark moments. Mm-hmm. That's where the best songs come from. Mm-hmm. Maybe at their lowest points too. I think some of my best songs, I can see that more popular, but some of them were written out of going through a divorce. Yeah. And, you know, catching my wife with having sex with a kid. Mm. Is it Christian? That's not Christian. Mm. I am. How it affected me and what I'd done with it and took it to God and all this stuff. I got a song out of it, but I got lots of songs out of it. Yeah. So real. That's been letting life experiences happen and try and do something with it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but if someone asks me, yeah, I'm a believer. I have been since I was like 19 years old. So
Yeah.
are we a Christian band? What is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird, you know what I mean? Like,
I think here mainly because especially here in America, people put so much
yeah,
emphasis on the
huh,
Christian, the music aspect of things because well, I mean we're just over flooded with churches and I think it's more of a more of an American thing than international.
yeah, yeah, maybe.
And if you don't have God in your lyrics or Jesus in your lyrics or whatever, oh, yeah, but how can you be you say you're a Christian band, but you don't have these specific?
But people can fake that, and
Yeah,
they have, and I know they have.
yeah,
You know, it's like I have nothing against anyone in the Christian music scene. Like I love all the people and that, but I've been ripped off more by it than the secular world.
yeah, yeah,
So you know what I mean? Like, what's going on there?
yeah,
That's why I pulled out of it. I said, you know what? I'm not going to get angry about this. I'm going to just go where life takes me.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like, and the fact is that the God that I know says you can do whatever you want. You've got free will
hmm
because without free will, he would have just made robots.
hmm
So I'm like, I'm going to go this way based on what I know about God, based on my experiences, based on whatever, and where that's taken me is usually into places like working with like people like Jeff Waters from Annihilator and hanging out with Kerry King from Slayer, knowing the people from Testament. Like these aren't Christian bands so much, but I know all these sort of people. I've met them. I wouldn't say they're friends or anything, but I'm like, how do I get here? By being good at what I do, trying to be the best I can be as a musician
yeah,
has got me to those places. Now, if they wanted to ask me what I believe, I have no hesitation. Never have. I've
yeah,
had great conversations with people, but that's personal and it's private and it's more of a one-on-one thing. It's not like, hey, we're a Christian band, attack us. We're not perfect because
yeah,
that's all that happens.
yeah,
It's like, oh, you got to be this, you got to be that. I'm like, well, who are you to tell me what to do? Some
yeah,
dude on a little like web page going, they're not Christian. I see it all the time, and I laugh. I go, thanks, man. Thanks for your judgment, dude. You have no idea who I am.
yeah, yeah,
You don't know my heart. You know nothing about me. So who are you to judge? It's like, get off your high horse. It's like it's easy to cut down people who are trying to do something a little bit outside the box. And it's like, go and do it yourself. Try to make a band. And
yeah,
then, and then put the Christian metal label on it. Watch how just impossibly difficult it gets
yeah,
right at the start. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we're all human beings. We all breathe because God gave us breath. We're not like separate from everyone else. We're
yeah,
not better than anyone else. It's like all it is at some point, some of us have gone, maybe there's more to this world. Who's this Jesus dude?
mhm,
That's what it is. It comes from curiosity. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like sometimes it takes people years and years and years to find it, but it's like, hey, that guy from, I don't know, I've had people come back, and yet I suppose you never know you never get to see your impact as a human. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. But sometimes I've had people come back years later and go, oh, maybe you stopped in the street and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I don't remember that at all. It's like,
yeah,
oh, yeah, I end up looking into the Bible or whatever, and I can't even remember it.
hmm
So it's like, and I almost like that more because I can't own that myself. I'm like, that was just God.
yeah,
I might have been there and open enough to say whatever I was saying, but I'm not out there trying to bash people over the head. Like, you need to know this or you're going to go to hell. I can't handle that stuff because
yeah.
it's not real. You can't talk to people like that.
No, No.
used to see it all the time. I'm like, that's when I became a Christian, that's what people thought I was going to be.
Okay.
That was really weird because I just come out of like chaos, and then I was really just trying to find God and understand God. Still am. It's a daily thing. It's like, and then all this other stuff, I have judgment from the church, and then I had judgment from my old life, and I'm like, this is insane. Now I'm more judged than I was before. It was easier being satanic because, like, oh, he's just that. Does that make sense? So, being a musician,
Yeah.
that same thing is happening. I'm like, all right, you go. This little clicky group over here, you got to go and you got to go. It's just, I just write music. What I believe is what I believe. If it's in the music, then great. Sometimes I'm angry. I'm going to write about it.
That,
You know what I mean? It's like,
there's enough in the world to
I'm
be
not,
angry
but I
about.
know.
Sure.
I know people probably don't want to sort of hear this thing, but it's like I could quite easily sit down and write 3 chords, grab a Bible verse, make a nice little melody. I've done it, man. I've done it before, like a muck around.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that sounds like a Christian song. Oh, I should sell this to the whatever, the church, or I could do it easy because it's what I do. I write music. But I'm like, that doesn't seem real to me.
Yeah.
That's not coming from me. I could do it, but it feels like I'm manipulating the situation. Does that make sense? I'm like, kind of like, no. I want to write music that people say who listen to Dream Theater, they go and listen to this band too. Now, if they know that I'm a Christian or not, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If they want to dig deeper, but if they personally ask me, then that's different because it's always, I feel like it's always more personal level. It's like you don't know anyone until you really sit and
Well, see,
talk to them.
that's the thing too, and it can be like, should a Christian band play in a bar, play in a club?
So what?
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, I mean, because that's always been a age-old argument as well. Should Christian bands play in a bar, a
But
club?
who made that? Who made the argument up?
Unfortunately, the church.
It's just insane. Go into the world.
But
Hang on, don't go into that world. What world are you talking about?
But
The
at
world you're in.
But at the same time, though, I get it. I get why, because if somebody came out of that lifestyle, that club environment, being drunk, they may
I
not,
did.
they may not want to go into a club to hear.
Then that's a personal preference.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what I've found? I come out of that world. I can go back quite easily. It's easy.
Yeah.
I've been around drugs. I've been around alcoholics. I've been around crime. I've seen it again being a Christian, and it's like my faith never changes.
Yeah. Faith
But temptation and all that's always going to be there. Yeah, okay. But I see it for what it is because I used to be in it. And it's like, well, okay, you don't put yourself into temptation, but that can be in everyday life. You could you could make yourself sick just eating too much crap. You know what I mean? It's like, well, don't put yourself into that. Don't turn the TV on. Don't turn the internet on. What are you going to do? Just sit here and go, oh, I'm a nice little Christian. No. We're supposed to go through these things. Like,
No,
he's not a religious God. He's a real God. You know what I mean? It's like
the thing is, though, Dean, you can't get frustrated over it.
Yeah.
Because I've been down that road to where I've been down that road where you can get frustrated over trying to, like you said earlier, you're trying to do this over here, you're trying to do that, and it's like,
well, I suppose that's it, but it's like, why do other people care what other people do so much, if Christian or not? Like, if I have a band and I say I'm a Christian, like, why does it matter to this person over here how I present that?
yeah.
Who are you? Oh, I spent $20 on your CD. So what? I spent my whole life on this. Your opinion makes no difference to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, fans of music, like, you're a fan of music, that's cool. But this is my life. Yeah. What you have to say, I don't actually care. That's great, man. You spent $20 on my CD. I've spent probably $2 million on my own music. Your opinion makes no difference. So why would your opinion matter on how I present the band, how I present myself, or my faith, or whatever? You don't know enough about me.
Yeah.
You only know the music.
I only know
And
that.
what you think you want the music to be, how about you go and do it yourself?
Yeah.
What you think you want from me as an artist or that guy as an artist, go and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Or go and look at your own life, because it's easy to judge someone once they're in the public eye. You know what I mean? I've never shied away from saying I'm a Christian. I've had interviews and that, and I've got laughed at and all sorts of stuff. I said, I don't care, man.
Yeah.
I don't care what I actually don't get, because where I come from, I'm like, I'm not going to change that. I could sit down with whoever, Megadeth, Metallica. I don't care if I could talk to them and they said to me, "What do you believe?" I'd be like, "Jesus is God." So what?
Yeah.
What's it got? You know what I mean? It's like, why it doesn't. It needs to be real part of your life, not like this thing that you pull out and go, "Look, I'm a good little Christian." I'm like, man, I swear sometimes I do the wrong thing, blah blah blah. But guess what? My faith never changes,
Yeah.
and it gets stronger sometimes when things are worse.
Yeah. That's true.
When I feel like I don't even know where God is, but I don't feel like I know where God is, but I know because He saved me, and it's also written that He said He did too. So sometimes I don't feel like it, but I still am. So it's like that's a real thing to me, and I'm not willing to just sort of throw it up there and go, "Here, judge away, everyone. Here's some songs I wrote." All of a sudden, I need to be this perfect person. No, it's not happening. If
No.
we're never going to be perfect.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like we're a creation ourselves. We're a work in progress. The same as my music, the same as the band, whatever. It's like we're an open book, but it's like as soon as I feel like we're just in this thing of like, I do see it, and I've seen it for years, which is why I pulled away from it. I'm like, I don't agree with the Christian music scene. I'm sorry, but I don't think it should exist, as in it shouldn't be secluded from anything else. It's just music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's all types of music. And I know Christians that are in other bands, in big bands.
Yeah.
The bass player from Dream Theater is a Christian.
It's a label. It's a label. And like I said,
And I think it needs it needs to come down. It's like, stop. It's judgment, man. That's what it is.
And like
People,
I
this has got to be perfect.
I do think it's mainly here
Oh no, it's here too, man.
I do think it's mainly,
but I think it's sort of, I think it's blown over from the 80s. Because when I first became a Christian, I found a lot of these like weird videos and that. It was so full on, man. It was like, oh my goodness, like I better be perfect. And it was like, what is this stuff? I'm like, being a musician, it's like, music to me is like breathing. It's what I do. You know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden, because I played some songs, I have to be this certain way. Yet the God I know is like, I know you're broken, dude. I'm gonna change you from the inside out. I'm not changing you from the outside in. But that's what happened at the start of Teramaze. I felt like coming out of Satanism and all that stuff, I felt like I needed to be good, and I didn't know how to be.
yeah.
So it was almost. So I mean, look back at the lyrics of Tears to Dust. I love the album, and the time and everything about it was so,
Yeah.
But the lyrics to me are kind of cheesy because it's all I knew at the time. Because I thought, well, we're on a Christian label now. Oh, I had respect for Steve and saw Steve Rowe nearly die and all this sort of stuff. And I better make these lyrics this. But I don't know if they were that honest because I was young.
Yeah.
A young person. I was a young Christian too.
Yeah.
And then the more I understand and found God, the more that the religious stuff had to go. I didn't think I was religious, but it kind of got jumped on me at the start because I come out of such a dark place. And I'm like, oh, now I've got to be perfect. Then I went through a divorce so early on. We were part of the church. I'm like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
How did this happen? Because so much of it wasn't real.
I think that happens to a lot of bands. They start out being, the Christian band and so forth, and then slowly they kind of just fade into they start getting into the secular market, and Next thing you know, you don't hear anything of the whole Christian, what they used to be is no longer now. They started out with
What? Yeah, but
lyrics that were,
it's what you think you wanted them to be.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like there's Striper, yeah, cool. But I got like half the things Michael says, I've got issues with. You
yeah,
know what I mean? I'm like, yeah, but that's what he does. That's cool. We all don't have to be Striper. You know what I mean? Like I never really got into Striper. It was more Tourniquet was my thing. But I was kind of like, yeah, this is kind of cool. One of my mates was a huge Striper fan. I'm like, that's cool. But I'm
yeah,
like, I'm not Striper. I'm
yeah,
not even anything like that. So don't try to think that every other band has to be like that.
exactly.
Because sometimes I think they've done more damage than good, but then sometimes they've done good.
Yeah,
Who knows? Who cares? Like I'm not the one supposed to judge that. But
yeah,
it's like me as a person, that grates me a bit. So I'm like, what I do, hopefully, and I know from seeing people and talking to people, I have a whole different approach to music and what I write about and what about. It's not like I don't know how to explain. You know what I mean? Like we're not Striper, we're not any of those bands. It's sort of like
no,
half the.
I totally get where you're going, man. It's
It's like it's. I felt like it's like there's a. When I become a Christian, that was great, but when all of a sudden I was a Christian musician, and that wasn't. I was like, hang on, whoa, 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 because all of a sudden it was like this. Your
yeah,
box.
yeah,
Doing this now. I go to festivals and I'm like, I couldn't take my fiance at the time. I know you can't stay with them and you got to sign a thing. I'm like, what is this? I felt like a cult.
mm,
I'm like, this is weird. So I saw all these things and I would actually say stuff about it. It's like, oh, don't say anything. I'm like, yeah, but who's making these rules? Hang on. If we're all supposed to have a sort of faith, it
yeah,
feels like it's being controlled by this sort of entity. And what I found is the Christian music industry at the time had like this weird control over how they need to be perceived.
mm,
And like DC Talk to me were a huge, huge band. I love it. And now all the stuff that's happened with like Michael and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, you know why? Because they're human beings. They're broken too. They were probably put on pedestals and,
oh,
you know what I mean? Like their music to me is still impactful.
yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I'm not listening to it anymore. I'm like, hang on. Where was the guy that when he wrote Amazing Grace? He was absolutely
He
not.
was a slave catcher.
Right. So that song gets used every church and blah, blah, blah. Was he a perfect person when he wrote that? No.
Slaves for crying out loud.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. Music, it's like I wish that the religious walls and the controlling walls of certain sort of like Christian music and blah, blah, blah. I don't like labels on anything.
Yeah,
Like it's art.
and like I said,
Like, you gotta see it like a painting that I'm like, it's just that was that person's expression at the time.
yeah,
And that's okay because I'm like it because God does that too. Because if God didn't do that, he made little mini me's and he is a creator. So we're creators. But we can't save anyone.
yeah,
Only Jesus can. And
yeah,
only that person can have an open enough heart to actually want to go, maybe it's real or whatever. You don't, you know what I mean? Like you've got nothing to do with that. Maybe just live your life trying to like be Christ-like. Maybe that might have more effect than you kind of going, you've got to be perfect. But like, hang on, man, you're not.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but I'm a Christian and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like I've gone through it myself.
yeah,
I thought, it was this perfect thing. And then boom, I go through a divorce and I'm like, what is this? How did this happen?
yeah.
I allowed it to happen because I thought everything was almost like fake perfect. And I've that's my thing with and I'm talking a lot.
No, dude,
But you know, I mean, if you want to ask me, yes, I believe the Bible. Like Jesus is God. He saved me.
yeah.
It's never changed ever.
No, I love it. Man.
Sometimes I swear, do I say the wrong thing? Yep. Do I sometimes do the wrong thing? Absolutely. Why? Because I'm a human being.
Yeah, I
I'm not different because I play music.
I do think people just put too much emphasis on trying to be Mr. and Mrs. Christian
Yes.
and not live. We're
Right
gonna
now,
make
man.
mistakes. We're gonna say things. We're gonna just driving on the freeway here. Drive
Yeah,
on the freeway in
yeah.
California for about 5 minutes and see where that gets you. And for those
Yeah.
of you who know about California, if you've lived here before, you know what I'm talking about. So
Yeah, I haven't gone.
you're not Mr. and Mrs. Christian behind the wheel when you're
Yeah,
driving
yeah,
through California.
exactly.
That's for
So
sure.
let it change you from the inside out, not from the outside. And that's kind of, that goes, for everything that I do as well. It's like the music. I'm like, however you see it is how you're going to see it. But how it really is, only I know. Only God knows. You know what I mean? It's like, but you don't know that about lots of things. But, I haven't been back into my church because they didn't let me in because I didn't want to get vaccinated.
Mm,
And I'm like, I've got a problem with this. Oh, you're not let her in. I'm like, are you serious? We're here already? I've been writing, this is the sort of stuff I write in my songs too. I've been questioning things for day one, all this sort of stuff. But I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah, this is weird. I haven't been back because I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this because the next thing that comes, I'm like, I'm not doing that either.
yeah,
Am I crazy? Well, no, but I know this stuff from the Bible. I've said this stuff's going to come at some point. Um, and if the church goes along with it, I'm not going along with it.
yeah,
I don't care. Or the church organization, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, things are changing, man. And it's like, I think it's getting down to really knowing who God is and really your faith. Because I don't know, man. I stood next to my best mate's dead body, who was a Christian, and everything changed. And I realized at that moment, only one thing matters, that I believe God, because I actually kind of felt like he got to meet God and I didn't. It was almost like I kind of felt ripped off. Is that weird? That changed everything. All this stuff that we put in front of us and all this stuff, like, that's all that matters is my relationship with God. Then let that change me and let that do what it's supposed to do to me. And if I can affect people, then most of the time it's probably because I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
the Christian music and blah, blah, blah. It's just be a human being first, because that's what you are.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I didn't really think I was going to talk about this actually, but
Oh, no, it's great.
I'm,
In closing, man, I want you to,
yeah,
I always say this world, we live in a chaotic world, as you eloquently expressed.
try to.
What encouragement can you give someone that's seeking? Someone, let's say a younger Dean, person
Mm.
just like you. What can you give an encouragement word to that person? And they're searching. They're like, man, this life sucks. I want to
Actually,
suicide. I want to do this. I want to do that. I just don't like the words things going on. What can
we
you?
all feel like that. We all feel like that. Most people I know feel like that. But it's firstly, it's finding the reason to wake up every day and to be thankful that you actually have life, because it's so rare that, like, to be alive is amazing. You're alive. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I didn't ask for this, but here I am. Being grateful for things starts to break down this, like, what you're lacking, what you think you're lacking, because it's like we're in a world of excess, but it's like, you have breath. Who gave you that life? That was really, and it still is, of like, who gave me life? And I found that was God, Jesus, the Bible, from the Bible. That changed everything, because I was like, I thought so many other things. There's so many other things in life that's like, well, it's this and that. But that was the thing that really, I couldn't do anything other than being curious, kind of going, there's something, maybe there's something to this, just from some lyrics from songs. But it's like, never stop that pursuit of truth in everything. Because, it's like not just the truth of the Bible, but the truth of everything, because it all comes back to God. I found everything. Every time I look for something that I really want to know the truth, no matter how dark it is,
Mm,
it always ends up back to the creator.
mm-hmm.
That's what I find interesting about life. It's like, I'll go down rabbit holes and like, what is this? But I really want to know. I don't care what people, you crazy conspiracy, blah, 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 whatever they want to call it. That's cool, man. I'm a curious person. But I found truth always, it always ends up back to the real truth. You know what I mean? Who we are and why we're here and who made us. So, it's like that old sort of saying with like, who are you going to take the watch to if it's broken? The person who made it knows. No one else knows it better. So to me, that's God. That's Jesus.
That's awesome, man. Dude, I told you, it's great. That's why I say I just let you just run with it.
Yeah, it
It's been
happens.
awesome, man. It's been awesome. I told you in the beginning, I go, bro, just share your heart out, man. Don't hold back. And you did. That's the whole purpose, man. That's the whole purpose of doing what I'm doing here and other channels. And people got they got a testimony, man. I mean, everybody's got a testimony. Everybody comes from different walks of life.
Absolutely.
Maybe God delivered you out of this, or you were just like straight and narrow, but you needed God. No matter what, I mean, everybody's got a testimony.
We
So
need to we need to stop being so hard on each other. That's what I
yeah,
think. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like, hey, like everyone, Christian, non-Christian, doesn't matter. We're all sons of God, all of us. No matter what you believe, it still is. So it's like, let's not be so judgmental and harsh on each other, and we'll be in a better world. You know what I mean?
I, you know,
We'll get along.
I personally think sometimes pastors do that. Some pastors, not all. Some pastors are just like fire and brimstone on believers. And what that does is it takes believers who want to go to church, who want to fellowship like we should, away. And
Yeah.
and then it takes non-believers like, well, I'm not going there.
But that's sort of what
Uh,
you're saying to me. It sort of goes back to trusting God, not in man.
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's what I mean, that's what I've learned too.
yeah,
Like we can listen to pastors and that, but they're a human. They're a human being, and they're gonna make mistakes
yeah,
a lot. And sometimes, you know what, you can tell them. I've done it. I've done it at church. I've stormed up and went, I don't agree with this, and I can't. I can't go along with this, even if all you people think it's fine. I'm like, I think that there's something wrong with this, and I'll stand up for something that I think, even if I'm wrong, I've still got to question it because I'm like, that doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't line up with the Bible, dude. Like,
mhm,
so sometimes, and pastors sometimes need that. People in that, kind of, what's the word, sort of on pedestal a bit, need to be challenged sometimes. Hey, you know what? You know what I mean? We all make mistakes, but
yeah,
yeah, man, it's like like, isn't God love, but like proper love? It's like,
yeah,
that's just not like just accept everything and blah blah blah. But it's like, actually, like, sometimes love is really harsh. It's like, hey man, I've got a problem with this, and we need to chat about it. No one likes that conversation, but
yeah,
I've found out that that's real love. Being honest, I can't help being honest. It's a little bit of a, like, I've lost friends and lots of things, but at the same time, I've gained a lot of really good people by being just honest
yeah,
about things. I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. I'm not going to shy away from it.
yeah,
I found that that's the best thing always for me. Sometimes it's really difficult too,
yeah,
but
yeah.
same thing, man. Like, yeah.
Oh, you know what I think is next for you, man? You need to do a book.
Oh man, I could write a book just on stories.
You need to turn everything that you talked about, write it in a book now, and then
Well, that's why I write so much
then,
music.
then do it then do a movie.
Yeah. Well, that's well, my music's like 26-minute long songs. It's like a little, what I mean? Like, sometimes music's just an escape, man. Like, sometimes it's okay to just escape. Not everything has to be like,
Yeah,
everything has to be about the church and blah, blah, blah. It's like God wouldn't make, like, flowers and all sorts of stuff. I was like, why? Why would I make a bee a bee? And like, it's because it just is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's okay to love things that are just like colorful and that. But I feel like it's like they close yourself off just because you believe in God.
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed to make you actually more of an open person than the sort of judgmental? Do you know what I mean? Like, I know some great people, you know, Christians and that. But I also know some people that I wanted to slap. Like, mate, don't talk to me like that. I might be a Christian, but if you push me too far, you know what I mean? I'll slap you and ask for forgiveness later. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you can't say that. Yeah, I can, because that's how you make me feel.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest. It's
See,
okay to be honest.
see, I always go by the scripture, be angry, but sin not. I got the be angry part.
Yeah,
It's the sin not part. I'm still working on.
exactly. Because that's a daily
Be
thing we struggle with,
angry,
man.
but sin not. It's like, okay, I got that part, but the sin not.
We're supposed to we're supposed to struggle with sin because we learn what's real. If there was no struggle, what are we going to learn?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like God knew that sin was going to come into the world. Knew it was going to happen. So it's like what would be there would be no sort of challenge to find who God is. Firstly,
Yeah. Yeah.
I only found God because it was so sinful. It
Yeah.
wasn't because I was good. You don't have to become good then find God, sort of thing. I
Yeah.
was the other way. I was like going that way. I'm like, oh, this is not. I need to pull back here. So this ain't right. That's how I found God, by
Yeah.
going to the extreme of. I don't recommend it, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It's like let you sometimes, and sometimes you got to let people just go. You got to let them go. Do your thing, man. Whatever that is. But I'm still here. But go do it because maybe you're going to find you, and maybe you're going to find some answers in that chaos and hell sort of thing, because that's what happens. It's all
And
the way through the Bible.
that's a good way to end it, man. Go do your thing.
Thanks, man. I'll probably talk to you. Yeah,
He's gonna meet you there. He's gonna meet you there.
yeah,
You're gonna
that's
have
it.
you're gonna have that Paul Damascus Road experience.
Hmm.
Well, Dean, man, it's
Thanks.
been great, man. It's been great talking with you. And I'll put all your music, your band's music in the description. And yeah, man, hopefully I get to see you at NAM. Get your NAM again soon, because
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Maybe.
yeah, I didn't go last year, but I heard it was starting to pick back up.
Yeah, it's picked back up. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be there in
yeah, I
January.
kind of miss it.
So we'll keep in
Okay.
contact for
Yeah,
sure.
I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I'm going to come over.
Yeah, hopefully, man, and hopefully you guys can come here and play. To
Oh,
the
we'll be there in we'll be there in September next year, but which probably just going
okay,
to try to do some more stuff too.
okay. Hopefully you can come
Thanks,
to
man.
California, man. I mean, you down in Australia and all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the hardest thing.
All right. Well, hold on a minute. I'm gonna sign off, and then we'll close after I start recording. So let me. All right, man. Okay, bro.
Thanks for having me,
Talk to
man.
you soon, man. All right.